The One and Done Revolution, transforming relationships through self-worth and love languages. Welcome to the Black CEO podcast, where we dive deep into transformative ideas that can reshape your life, your relationships, and your world. Today, we're exploring groundbreaking insights from an extraordinary interview with Aaminah Thompson, a visionary whose work is revolutionizing how we approach personal growth and human connections. Aaminah's impact on making the world a better place is nothing short of phenomenal, and I'm thrilled to share these life-altering lessons with you. Imagine a world where every interaction is infused with understanding, where relationships flourish effortlessly, and where your sense of self-worth is unshakable. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, buckle up, because we're about to embark on a journey that could turn this fantasy into your reality. Let's kick things off with a question that might make you squirm in your seat. What value do you see in yourself? No, really. Take a moment. What's your answer? If you're feeling a bit uncomfortable, don't worry. That discomfort is the first step towards transformation. You see, Aaminah Thompson introduced me to a revolutionary approach that's changing lives. The one and done technique, coupled with a deep understanding of love languages in relationships. And trust me, it's not just another self-help gimmick. It's a paradigm shift that could redefine how you see yourself and interact with the world. Now, I know what you're thinking. One and done sounds like a quick fix, but hold your horses. This isn't about slapping a band-aid on your problems and calling it a day. It's about making a single powerful decision that sets off a chain reaction in your life. It's like dominoes, but instead of little tiles falling over, it's your limiting beliefs and toxic patterns crumbling down. Picture this. You are standing at a crossroads. One path leads to the familiar, the comfortable patterns you've always known. You know, the ones that leave you feeling unfulfilled, undervalued, and wondering, is this all there is? The other path. It's shrouded in mist, a bit intimidating, but pulsing with potential. The one and done technique is about choosing that second path once and for all. No looking back, no second guessing, just a firm, unwavering decision to change. But here's where it gets juicy. This isn't just about making a choice. It's about understanding the why behind that choice. And that's where love languages come into play. Now, I know you've probably heard about the 5 love languages before: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Maybe you've even taken an online quiz to find out yours. But Amina takes this concept and turns it up to 11. She challenges us to look at our relationships, all of them, not just the romantic ones, through the lens of love languages. Think about it. How often have you felt like you're speaking a different language from someone you care about? Maybe you're showering your partner with gifts, but they're sitting there wondering why you never want to spend quality time with them. Or perhaps you're constantly offering words of praise to your colleague, but they're silently wishing you just helped them with their workload. It's like trying to pay for your coffee with Monopoly money. The intention is there, but the value isn't translating. Understanding love languages in relationships is like suddenly gaining fluency in every language on earth. It's not just about knowing your own love language, it's about recognizing and respecting the love languages of others. It's about creating a harmonious symphony of communication and affection where every note is heard and appreciated. But here's where Amina's approach gets really interesting. It's not just about improving your relationships with others, it starts with the most important relationship of all, the one you have with yourself. Remember that uncomfortable question I asked earlier. What value do you see in yourself? This question is the cornerstone of the one and done technique, because until you truly value yourself, until you understand your own worth, you're like a car trying to run on empty. You might move forward for a while, but eventually you're going to sputter and stall. Think about it like this. You're the author of your own story. Every day you're writing a new page. But if you don't value yourself, if you don't see your own worth, you're writing a story where you're always the sidekick, never the hero. The one and done technique is about deciding once and for all that you're the protagonist of your own life. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, isn't this just about being selfish? Not at all. This isn't about ego or narcissism. It's about self-respect, self-love, and self-awareness. It's about recognizing that you have inherent value regardless of your achievements, your relationships, or your possessions. It's about filling your own cup first so you have something to pour into others. Let me share a powerful example that Aaminah used to illustrate this concept. Imagine you're in a relationship where you constantly feel undervalued. You're always giving, always trying to please, but it never seems to be enough. The old you might have stayed in this situation, constantly trying to prove your worth. But the new you, the one who's embraced the one and done technique, makes a different choice. You decide once and for all that you deserve better. You commit to valuing yourself, to speaking your own love language first. And here's the magic. When you do this, something incredible happens. The dynamics of your relationship start to shift. People begin to treat you differently because you're treating yourself differently. It's like putting on a pair of glasses for the first time and suddenly seeing the world in high definition. You start to notice patterns in your relationships that you never saw before. You begin to understand why certain interactions always left you feeling drained while others energized you. But this isn't just about personal relationships. This understanding, this newfound clarity extends to every area of your life. In your career, you start to recognize your true value. You stop underselling yourself. You begin to pursue opportunities that align with your worth rather than settling for what you think you deserve. In your friendships, you start to cultivate connections that are mutually fulfilling. You learn to set boundaries, to say no to energy draining interactions, and to invest in relationships that truly nourish your soul. Even in your relationship with money, things start to shift. When you truly value yourself, you stop sabotaging your financial success. You begin to see money as a tool for creating the life you deserve rather than something that's always just out of reach. Now, I can almost hear some of you thinking, this sounds too good to be true. Can one decision really change everything? And that's a fair question. The truth is, it's not just about making the decision. It's about committing to that decision every single day. It's about waking up each morning and reaffirming your worth. It's about catching yourself when you start to slip into old patterns and gently guiding yourself back to this new path. It's about being patient with yourself, understanding that change doesn't happen overnight, but that every small step is progress. And here's something crucial to remember: this journey isn't always easy. There will be days when you doubt yourself, when the old insecurities creep back in, but that's where the one and done part becomes so powerful. You've already made the decision, you've already committed to this path. So even on the tough days, you keep moving forward. Aaminah shared a powerful metaphor for this process. She likened it to planting a seed. When you first plant it, nothing seems to happen. The soil looks bare, and you might be tempted to dig it up to check if anything's happening. But if you trust the process, if you keep nurturing that seed with water and sunlight, eventually it breaks through the soil. And once it does, its growth is exponential. That's what the one and done technique is like. You're planting a seed of self worth, of self love. At first, it might feel like nothing's changing. But if you stay committed, if you keep nurturing that seed, it will break through. And when it does, the growth in your life will be exponential. Now, let's talk about how this understanding of love languages plays into all of this. When you start to value yourself, when you understand your own love language, you become much more attuned to the love languages of others. You start to recognize when someone's trying to show you love in their language, even if it's different from yours. Maybe your partner's love language is acts of service, and they've been trying to show you love by doing chores around the house. In the past, you might have missed this expression of love. But now, with this new understanding, you see it for what it is: a profound expression of affection. This awareness doesn't just improve your romantic relationships, it transforms all your interactions. In your professional life, you start to recognize how your colleagues and clients are trying to communicate value and appreciation. In your friendships, you become more attuned to the unique ways each of your friends expresses care and affection. But here's the real game changer: you also become much better at expressing love and appreciation in ways that truly resonate with others. You learn to speak their love language, to show them you care in ways that they can truly feel and understand. This is where the magic happens. When you value yourself and understand love languages, you create a positive feedback loop in your relationships. You're better at recognizing and appreciating the love others are showing you, and you're better at expressing love in return. This leads to deeper, more fulfilling connections across all areas of your life. Now, I want to address something important. Some of you might be thinking, this all sounds great for people in relationships, but what about me? I'm single. Here's the beautiful thing: this approach is just as powerful, if not more so, for individuals who aren't currently in romantic relationships. Why? because it all starts with you. The most important relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. When you truly value yourself, when you understand your own love language, you stop seeking validation from others. You stop entering into relationships out of fear or loneliness. Instead, you begin to attract people and opportunities that align with your true worth. Being single becomes an opportunity for growth and self discovery rather than a state of lack. You learn to fulfill your own needs, to speak your own love language to yourself. And when you do enter into a relationship, you do so from a place of wholeness and self assurance rather than neediness or insecurity. Let's take a moment to really let this sink in. Imagine a world where everyone understood their own worth, where everyone was fluent in the language of love, both giving and receiving. Imagine how that would transform our families, our communities, our workplaces, even our global interactions. This is the vision that Aaminah Thompson is working towards. It's a vision of a world where relationships are built on mutual understanding and respect, where individuals are empowered to live authentically and love deeply. Now, I want to share a few real life examples of how this approach has transformed lives. These stories come from individuals who've embraced the one and done technique and the power of understanding love languages. First, there's Sarah, a successful lawyer who always felt like she was never doing enough, both at work and in her personal life. She was constantly seeking validation from her bosses, her partner, even her friends. After learning about the one and done technique, she made a decision to start valuing herself. She began setting boundaries at work, stopped overextending herself to please others, and started prioritizing self care. The result? Not only did her stress levels decrease, but her relationships improved dramatically. Her colleagues started respecting her time more. Her partner began to appreciate her in new ways, and she found herself enjoying her friendships without the constant need for approval. Sarah's story is a powerful example of how valuing yourself can lead to others valuing you more too. Then there's Michael, a single dad who was struggling to connect with his teenage daughter. No matter what he did, it seemed like there was always tension between them. After learning about love languages, Michael realized that while he was trying to show love through acts of service, cooking meals, helping with homework, his daughter's primary love language was quality time. He made a conscious effort to spend more one on one time with her, just talking or doing activities she enjoyed. The transformation in their relationship was remarkable. The tension dissipated, and they developed a closeness that Michael had always hoped for. This story shows how understanding love languages can bridge gaps and strengthen the bonds, even in the most challenging relationships. Lastly, let's talk about Emma and James, a couple who were on the brink of divorce. They loved each other, but constantly felt misunderstood and unappreciated. Through counseling, they discovered that they had different love languages. Emma's was words of affirmation, while James was physical touch. Once they understood this, they made a conscious effort to speak each other's love language. James started expressing his appreciation verbally more often, while Emma made an effort to hold hands, hug, and show physical affection more frequently. This simple shift in how they expressed love reignited their connection and saved their marriage. These stories illustrate the transformative power of the one and done technique in understanding love languages. They show us that change is possible, that our relationships can be deepened, and that we have the power to create the connections we've always dreamed of. But here's the thing, these transformations didn't happen overnight. Sarah, Michael, Emma, and James all had to commit to their decisions daily. They had moments of doubt, times when they slipped back into old patterns. But because they had made that one and done decision, they were able to course correct and stay on their new path. Now, I want to challenge you. As we wrap up this talk, I want you to think about one area of your life where you've been undervaluing yourself. It could be in your career, in a relationship, or in how you treat yourself. I want you to make a one and done decision right now. Decide once and for all that you deserve better, that you are worthy of love, respect, and fulfillment. Remember, this isn't about making a perfect choice or transforming your life overnight. It's about committing to a journey of self discovery and growth. It's about planting that seed and nurturing it every day. And as you embark on this journey, I want you to pay attention to the love languages around you. Notice how your friends, family, and colleagues are trying to express appreciation and affection and experiment with expressing love in different languages yourself. The path ahead might not always be easy, but I promise you it's worth it. Because when you truly value yourself, when you understand the languages of love, you unlock a level of fulfillment and connection that you might have never thought possible. So here's my call to action for you. Start your one and done revolution today. Make that decision to value yourself unconditionally. Commit to understanding and speaking the love languages of those around you. Be patient with yourself, but be unwavering in your commitment. Imagine a ripple effect starting with you. As you value yourself more, as you become fluent in the languages of love, you'll inspire others to do the same. Your relationships will deepen, your impact will grow, and you'll be part of creating a world where everyone feels valued and understood. This isn't just about personal happiness, although that's certainly part of it. This is about creating a paradigm shift in how we relate to ourselves and to each other. It's about building a world with more empathy, more understanding, and more love. So I challenge you, will you join the one and done revolution? Will you commit to valuing yourself and speaking the languages of love? The choice is yours and the time is now. Remember, you have the power to transform your life and your relationships. You have the ability to create ripples of change that can transform the world around you. All it takes is one decision made with conviction and followed through with commitment. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery and transformation. Now go out there and start your revolution. The world is waiting for the unique value that only you can bring. Let's create a future where everyone's worth is recognized, where love is expressed in all its languages, and where connections run deep and true. The one and done revolution starts with you. Are you ready to change your world?